Hello guys, welcome back. This is a bit of a different one. We're going to be doing a Source Filmmaker how to do a poster tutorial today, which is a little bit different from TF2, maybe you'll think. I have decided that we are going to do a poster for this lovely hat here. It's a Stormy Storm Fuka something or other, and that's what we're going to be doing. So first thing you want to do is, once you've loaded into SFM, is you want to give your project a name. So we'll be calling this Stormy Fuka, so we can easily come back to it later. Then we'll right click in the little back bit here, go to load map, and then we'll find a map. I want to use Sawmill. So we'll find the Sawmill map. Let's use King of the Hill version. Yeah, let's use King of the version, and then just open. Now we wait for it to load. And this time there's nothing you can do, so you just have to wait. If you happen to change maps in the middle of something, like you've already got everything set up, all the models and stuff imported, then it will try and keep the models in the same coordinates they were in the other map, in the new map. So yeah, that's an interesting thing to do. Say like you've already set something up that looks really lovely, but you don't think the map actually looks that good, you can change it out to something else. Once this is finished loading, we will get on with it. There we go. Alright, as you'll see, you'll start out in the middle of absolutely nowhere with a, as you can see down here, it says work camera. This is not the camera you use. It's not the camera you should use for the actual poster itself, but you can use it to run around the map as much as you like. If you hold down shift, you can go super fast, and if you hold down control, you go super slow, which is quite good. What I want to do now to make it a little bit less laggy is to right click, render settings, and just turn off all this shit. There you go. You'll make it a little bit better. So now what we'll want to do is create a new camera. You right click here on the left, create animation set for new camera. There's the new camera. Click down here on change scene camera to camera 1. There's camera 1. You have to make sure to click up here. And now onto this little, what looks like a plaster in the middle. It's not, it's like the animation set editor or something, it has a name. And now we can move around camera 1. And we want to try and look for somewhere nice for this soldier to be standing. Let's have a little peek around. Let's have him standing... Ooh. Can I have him? Could work. Could have him standing up here and looking down. We could have him running down the hill here. I reckon that could work. What do you think? Nah, angles look a little bit weird in TF2 because everything's standing perfectly upright. What we can do, however, is have him... Let's have him here, I think. That's not a bad spot, I think. If you hold down shift while moving around, you can move around the camera. I don't know, if you hold down shift, it lets you go super fast, that's what I was doing, yeah. But you have to make sure to click in the middle of here before you can move the camera, okay? So let's try and get this place. If you scroll wheel, you can change the FOV. As you can see all the way on the left here, it moves it. So we want to try and have it flattish for now, and try and move it around here. That's good. Switch back to the work camera by clicking on here, and have a little look. That's where the camera is going to be. Okay then. So now what we want to do is import the soldier model. So we'll right click here, animation set for new model. Wait for this to load, and while it does that, we'll type in HWM space soldier. There we go. That's the super duper, supposedly super duper high res version that they use in all the Source Filmmaker videos, but you know. It works, I like it. It looks nicer than the in-game one, which is just soldier.mdl. So if you find him here, on the soldier, you can move him around. This is where he is. So we'll try and find him a little place to sit. Okay. Let's rotate him there. We'll move the camera in a little bit, because I want to focus entirely on him. So let's have it like... That's a good field of vision, I think. So we want to give him some kind of, like, you know, models and hats and stuff. So since we use the HWM model, we can just add hats and stuff directly to him, rather than having to drag a bunch of things. So what we can do, we're going to right click on the soldier, and then add Team Fortress 2 item. Yep. And what we want is the Fuka. There we go, lovely hat. And I believe it automatically removed the soldier. It didn't, okay. So we'll have to right click on soldier, set body groups, helmet, none. There we go. Now what we want to do is give him some other miscs maybe, so let's have a little look around. Let's give him a, what's that samurai thing called? Is it? I don't know, it doesn't matter, this is a tutorial. So if you wanted to add other things like a Kringle or something, you could just go in here, type in Kringle, and then it'll add it for you, and it'll all work fine. But we don't worry about that right now. Let's get him into some kind of shooting position, so if we right click on him again, import, sequence, there we go, we find him the stand primary, there you go, normal standing position. If you have him on walk or something, or have him on run melee. If you, let's say, move X, make him run forwards. If you don't click on this little checkbox here, if it's like this, then he'll stand in the single place and the animation will play. However, if you tick this, he'll actually run off in the SFM. So you can see here he's got that green dot, which means he's going to run along there, which we don't want. But if you go back, sequence, run primary, make him run super duper fast, and then deselect that. He shouldn't run there anymore. Oh, he does because we already had him set, so if we go back to when we didn't have him. Import sequence. Run primary, don't generate a root motion, X. There we go. Which is good. That's just a thing you can do. So if we Control-Shift-Z to bring him back there. Import sequence, stand primary, good stuff. Alright, now what we want to do is we want to give him some kind of rocket launcher, so we're going to do that. We're going to do just the rocket launcher, basically. And we're also going to add the festive thing for him. So we're going to right click here, add new model, festive. No, it's not festive, it's Xmas. Try and find the rocket launcher thing. Xmas rocket launcher, there we go. So what we can do here is open up these, open up all these little jibbly bobs, and drag everything from the regular rocket launcher into the Xmas one, like this. There we go. Click on the Xmas rocket launcher bit here, and zero it in. You see this bar here? Not default, you drag it into 0, it'll snap into place, which is something cool you can do. So now we've got him a nice little festive rocket launcher. Let's move the camera down a bit. There we go. That's quite nice. So now what we can do is we can give him the stormy storm effect. So we go blah blah blah, add particle effect, yeah. So you right click here, add particle system, hit browse, item FX, in here, and it'll be probably unusual because it's not first gen. First gens are all called super rare. Oh no, it is. Maybe. Storm cloud. That might be it. Set to start time to -1 and all this stuff to 99, because that's what I do. Let's check if this is the stormy storm. Oh, it is. Okay then. So what we want to do is we'll want to find the soldier. It's here. Find his body head. There it is. Storm cloud all control point 0. So we'll drag the head onto control point 0 of the storm cloud and then 0 it in. So now it's attached itself to the head, and if we squiggle about, the unusual effect will appear. So there we go. That's a teeny tiny little storm cloud. Can we make it any bigger? I don't think we can because it's a particle, but that'll be the storm cloud for now. It doesn't matter too much. And let's give him a particle effect. Let's give him a rocket trail. So we want to look through here and we want to find rocket trail.pcf. There we go. I normally just tend to click on here and go through all of them until I find something that looks nice. So let's have it on rocket trail exclamation mark. I wonder what that does. So start time -1, 99, 99. Does this have a 0? Okay. So let's go back into work camera and squiggle this around. Try and find him a little spot. Up and across. Let's drag him up there. This should be angled in a really weird way, hopefully. So let's see if that does anything. No, it totally does do something, but that's for the rocket itself, I see. Okay. That's not what we want. We don't want that. Let's try and find the smoke. So, smoke. Smoke blank below? That's not it. Rocket trail. Maybe it is rocket trail. Rocket trail. That's called rocket trail. Airstrike, burst, airstrike. -1, 99, 99. Zoom out a bunch and just see if that's the right thing. No, let's just give up on that for now. It doesn't matter too much. If you do Let's have an explosion, just for fun. It doesn't look any good, and it doesn't do anything in this particular scene, but let's add one, because it's an explosion. So let's do mid-air, -1, 99.99, and let's drag this just, like, behind him, like that. So now he has an explosion behind it if we move him into place, actually, so the camera can see it. Also, explosions are super fast, so we'll have to right-click on that, edit instant start, stop, end times, and just set the timescale to 0.05, probably. There we go. So let's move that over there. See how that looks. Ah, yeah, that looks terrible. Great. I mean, we don't need this in, I'm just showing you how particles work, basically. Let's move it all the way over there. What's that look like? It's not going to look nice because it's a stormy map, and explosions don't fit very well on them. That looks stupid. Let's just leave it as it was. Okay, so we've got everything into place. This is how we want it. This is how everything looks. If we go to around frame 10, or frame 15, that's fine. You can see the frames along the top here, which is quite nice. And now what we want to do is set the camera up. So we will set the field of vision to be nice and try and move him. There's a rule about having things in thirds, and that's how making things look nice works. So if we have it like, let's have it like that. There we go. Yeah, it's just messy. A lot of SFM is just screwing around and hoping you get it right. Looks really flat. I'm gonna make it a little bit more straight like that. There we go. So once you've got everything set up nicely, you can set the focal distance. Let's zoom in a bit. Zoom out. Focal distance. Onto him, like that. Set the aperture on a little teeny tiny bit. Bloom scale, everything is normally kind of fine. SSAO we'll worry about now. So we'll go back to render settings. If you right click in the main bit, render settings, progressive refinement, turn on depth of field and put it on like 512 or 1024, whatever your computer can load. Ambient occlusion's good, and sub jitter AA is good. Not motion blur. Motion blur looks terrible, don't use it. There we go. And you see all this dotty stuff. If you hadn't have turned off progressive refinement, you'd see this all the time, and it's annoying. But basically, when you go back to this thing down here next to the plaster that looks like a film, those are the bits that get shaded in. If it works, which it probably won't because we haven't got SSA on. So what we want to do is just fiddle around with this and try and get the shadows to look as nice as possible. So let's mess around like that. Bloom scale, pretty. It does look a little bit like it's a bit too rainy, if I'm honest. Anyway, just mess around with it. Try and get something that looks like it probably shades the right bits. There we go. Just bump that up a billion. There we go. Alright, so now we've got that set up, we're going to do what we should have done right at the start, which is to set up lighting, because I completely forgot to. But it doesn't matter, because it's SFM, and you can do it any time you like. So we're going to create a light here by right-clicking, create light, and we're going to fiddle around with it for a bit, try and get things looking nice. The general rule of thumb is to use at least around three lights. One for main illumination, one for the back and upper bit illumination, which adds a nice little shine around it, and one from the other side. So I'm going to try and make sure his best side, what by best side I mean the one facing the camera, I'm going to make sure that one's nice and illuminated. So we're going to just fiddle around here, try and get it looking nice. How's that look? That's alright, just... Yeah, you can see there it illuminates quite nicely. If we move it around, put it on a little bit more on a diagonal plane. So let's go whoosh. It's already quite a dark map, to be honest. There we go. And now we're going to the other side. Whoosh. New light. Move this over here on the left. There we go. There you go. So you can see the effect that one's having. We don't want to have that on as much, we want to have it on a little bit. We have the first one a little bit more. Or we can do it the hipster way and have the other one on a bunch, like that. So now we're going to go behind him, ooh, and we're going to put the camera up top, because that's a thing you do apparently. It's a thing I do, and it looks nice sometimes. I'm going to do that. And move around, having a great old time here. Where's the light gone? Oh, there it is. Intensity up a shite load. There we go. So that looks a little bit better. If we go back onto this, it might shade it in, maybe? No? Apparently it doesn't want to do that today. Oh well. I don't know why it's not doing that, actually. If we show ambient occlusion, we can see what stuff should be facing out. It's there. Let's go back to camera and bump the aperture up a shitload and see if that does anything. It's not doing anything at all. I have no idea why. Oh, there we go, it just took a while to load. That's all it was. Oh, it's probably because I'm recording it and it's doing weird things. Let's put this down to something awful like 64. We just... yeah, so you can see it a little bit better there. So now what we want to do is just fiddle around with it for a bit, try and make things look a little bit nicer. Aperture shouldn't be all the way up there, have it down. Yeah. So like that looks a little bit better, I think. Yeah. So now let's go back onto light 1. I'm going to move that actually around a little bit. I think it's too forwards facing. So that should do that. That's good. Quite an awful lot of this is just moving stuff around. Which is what it is, but you know. If you don't like the idea of spending a really long time just getting lighting right, then I don't know, you might have to do Gmod or something. I'm not saying anything against Gmod, it's a great game, I love it. But it's a thing you can do. Also what we're going to do, I've decided, is that we're going to make it look like it's kind of nighttime-ish. So we're going to go to camera and bump down the map tone scale a little bit, like that. And we're going to go onto lights and just bump everything up a bunch. There we go, we're going to move the light 1 in a bunch. There we go. That's a little bit too dark actually, so let's put that up a little bit. That's a little bit better, I think. Let's just take this down, just a tad. I feel like that looks quite nice, I think. Let's have another look. It's looking alright, I think. So what we can do now is get a light shining directly on the rocket launcher, I think. That could look nice, maybe. Probably not. Let's get another light, bump this up here, spinning it around. Just try and get it looking a little nicer. If you use Z and X, you can go directly up and down in the camera, which is a thing. It's a useful thing. So you can see there the light on the rocket launcher is actually doing something now. That looks alright, I think. And something we can do with our first light is to change everything to look a little bit bluish. So if we bump that down there, go back to light 2, bump that down there, light 3, down there, and light 4. Why don't we make it bright green? Oh, okay then, that's what it does. Now I know. That looks alright, I think. If you make it blue, it looks a little bit more moonlighty, which I quite like. So, you know, quite simple, quick little posing. You can spend a lot more time than that on it than I normally do. And there's plenty more things you can mess around with, like explosions and stuff, making things look a little bit nicer. But now what we're going to do is we're going to just say that. Yep, and then we're going to go to File, Export as a movie, yeah? As a movie, I repeat, not as a poster, and then you drop down here, Image Sequence, Format, PNG, always PNG, unless you really like TGAs, I guess. Don't worry about that, resolution's fine, duration. So we want custom, and this to be on frames. And since we're on frame 15, and we just want frame 15, we'll do 15 to 16, and that will just do frame 15. If you've got more options, you can see all this shite, so I can bump that up to that. Draw entities, no, that's all fine, just leave that. And export. And we just wait. Shouldn't take too long, because it's a single frame. But once it's done that, I'll load up Photoshop in my other monitor, unless it loads on my left monitor, which is possible. No, it's loading on the right. And once that's loaded, we will pop it into Photoshop. Here we go. Whoosh. Let's bring this up. There we go. Make that full screen. Open. Recent places is where I've been. If you want to find sessions, there's a way to do it. You don't have to save it in sessions either. While you're exporting as a movie, you can move it somewhere else if you want. So what we're going to do now is we're going to try and find the one we just made, called the Stormy Fuka. There we go. So this is what the final poster, the file, the SFM rendered poster looks like. It's alright, you know, it's not brilliant, but it's alright. So what we can do now is do a couple tiny things that make it look just that much better. So go on to Image, Adjustments, and here we go, Curves. Curves is great. So we'll make the shadows whoosh, super dark, and the brights super bright. It's too bright. We'll just fiddle around with here for a bit, try and make it look nice. Because by default SFM makes all the shadows really grey and it's a bit... not a huge fan, so it looks like that. To that. Makes everything look a lot more vibrant. If we make everything super duper bright, it does that. So, oh, that's not right actually. So let's try and work out what that looks like. That's alright. So from that to that, a little bit more vibrant, that's what we want. You can also up the contrast, that works too. So now we're going to Image, Adjustments, and Variations. Put this bar here down a tad. If you have it all the way up here, you can very easily see what it does to everything. So we'll just put it down here. And what we'll want to do is add more cyan or blue. Normally you want these two. Cyan makes it look a little bit more daylight. Blue makes it look a little bit more like, a little bit more moonlighty. So we're going to try showing a little bit of blue on there. And press alright. You can press Ctrl Z in Photoshop to switch back and forth between things. I quite like the more daylighty look, so we're going to go back to the original non-variantized thing and try putting it with cyan instead. See how that looks. Old to new. Yeah, I'd say that looks quite nice. Yeah, that looks pretty good, I think. Yes, that looks quite nice. So that's, you know, quite a simple thing you can do. You can also mess around with all these other things and go to, like, I don't know, you go into like the default Photoshop filters that no one knows how to use. Everyone knows how to use the Photoshop filters, but look, we can make it look like it's sketched out of charcoal. Isn't that? It's not. Don't use those ever, please. Anyway, and if you want to tag it or, you know, watermark it, you just go in. Yeah, Trebuchet MS is my favourite font for this. I make it like size 24 or something and type like Woolin. Everyone loves it. And then we do that thingy, make it a little bit bigger than that. Ah, it's such a tilty angle. No, we can have it like this actually. And we're going to pump this down the bottom left. We're going to go over here and set the opacity of the text down to like that. So it looks a little bit more part of the scene. And just bump it into the corner. It's excellent. I'm actually going to make it look a little bit better than that. We're going to go... I don't know about Trebuchet MS. What else can we use? I quite like Ghost scripts. Nah, that's silly. Let's go print, maybe. Oh, that is brilliant. Let's use that instead. So let's shove that there. And there you go. Nice, simple, quick-ish... What's that? 24 minutes? Yeah, quick-ish kind of poster. Very, you know, I can go into more in depth about certain particular things. This wasn't intended to be a, you should follow this step by step. It's more of a like, oh, I didn't know how you added a part. Oh, I didn't know that you could do that. I don't know, that kind of thing. But you know, thank you for watching. If you want to ask me any particular questions about SFM, or like, oh no, everything's really dotty, so, you know, something like that, I can see if I can help with you. I might, if you want, make a video on doing killstreak effects and stuff, because that takes for fucking ever, really. And there's not very many tutorials about it, unless you want to read a lot about it in Steam groups. But anyway, that'll do it for today. We can go to File, Save As. Let's go into my pictures and save it as Stormy Fuka Caps Lock as a PNG. That's excellent. Then we can go into Steam. Yes, we want to save it as interlaced. Normal's fine. Interlaced? I don't know, it doesn't matter. So let's go into Steam. It's this page. This is how you upload it. So you go onto Steam, give your artwork a title, let's call it Stormy Fuka. Artwork file. Stormy Fuka. Add a description. So let's do that. There we go. Yeah. What a useful description, everyone's gonna love it. Set published famous, yeah, I made it. Everyone knows I made it. And save it to my profile. Let's see what it does. There we go. And there you go. Process from... let's try and find it. Sessions Fuka. There you go. Process from that to that. Quite nice. Quite fast-ish. You can do it a lot faster. I was talking through a lot of things, but you know, you can make one of these in about 10-15 minutes if you really want to. But that will wrap it up for today. Thank you all for watching. If you want to see a little bit more, or have questions as I stated earlier, ask them in the description. I made a Steam group. There was a video, like this morning, that I made, which you can join if you want. I make little... every time a new video will come out, I'll put a little notification in there. Be nice, it'll be fancy. Anyway, that'll all... bye. Thank you, everything. Yeah, bye.